This weekend, Walk 97.5, Long Island's holiday music station, is going to participate along with the Masonic Lodge in Port Jefferson at the Dickens Festival. Now I have the opportunity to speak to the representative from the Masonic Lodge in Port Jefferson, Tom Pace. Mr. Pace, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Big Mike, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So we were connected through one of our great friends here at Walk 97.5 from New York cancer and blood specialist, Ben Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I had spoken to Ben. We've had a pretty good relationship since we started working together a couple of years ago. And I was telling him all about the Christmas story that I perform. And I've been doing it a couple of years. I never thought that it would ever lead to an opportunity to participate in any way with something as well known as the Dickens Festival.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, Mike. In fact, we're really looking forward to you being there. This has been going on for years. Port Jefferson puts on this festival, this Charles Dickens Festival, the first full weekend every December. We've been participating because we're right there in the village, Suffolk 60 Masonic Lodge. It wasn't until about 7 years ago when we started really kind of putting effort into it, because up till that point, we held a show or two, and we'd bring in a couple of dollars, and then we'd give it to the Methodist Church or the Episcopal Church, or we'd give it to one of the churches, the local churches, one of the local groups. But then we realized how many people were coming through, and we had all these members saying, hey, why don't we do a little something more? So that's exactly what we've been doing.
It seems like the festival is known far and wide.
Yes.
It's known outside of just the Long Island community.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to speak with Charles Dickens' great-great-grandson,
Wow.
who is a performer. He performs A Christmas Carol. I interviewed him for the podcast a couple of years ago, and he talked about the different Dickens festivals that go on around the world,
Right.
and the Port Jefferson Dickens Festival as being one of the bigger ones,
Right.
One of the more notable ones. So everybody that lives in Port Jefferson or lives on Long Island, you know a little bit about it
Right.
and what to expect. And this year is going to be my first time actually being able to go there, not only as a spectator, but also as a participant. Talk to me a little bit how the lodge's connection with the town relates to their participation in the Dickens Festival and what you guys are going to be bringing to the table this year at the Dickens Festival.
Okay. As most people know, Port Jefferson is a little piece of New England on Long Island. There's a direct ferry that goes straight across to Connecticut, which is New England. But there are a few places you can go on Long Island that can give you that New England feel. To realize that the Masonic Lodge, which founded itself here in America in 1796, and we've been active pretty much for since that point in time. We represent those men who founded the United States, who came here and fought in the Revolution. George Washington was a Mason. Benjamin Franklin was a Mason. There were many other famous figures who were Masons. So we feel a connection to our history, and we feel the connection to Port Jeff Village as well, because Port Jeff Village is just such a lovely village. Now, when they do this each year, there are carolers and chimney sweeps and players and people dressed for the part roaming the streets, because it covers many blocks.
And it brings you back to that era.
And it brings you back to that era of Charles Dickens. And we've got a lot of the different places around holding events during the 2-day weekend of the 7th and the 8th. What we have going on specifically is we have a gingerbread house contest, which brings in some really, really good artistry as far as, it's not just somebody threw a bunch of cookies together. And some of these people put weeks, I would say even months into some of these things. And the beauty of it is every year they're different. So when you come down and you see something, you're going to see something different next year.
How did the lodge decide on something as traditionally Christmas as the gingerbread house competition? How did that come to be?
I'm going to have to give this a shout out to my brother Gary Lindemann. Gary came to us a long time ago and said, "Hey, we should do this. Hey, we should do this. Hey, we should do this." Finally, I took him by the hand. And I said, "Come on, let's do this." And I called to a bunch of the other men within our lodge, and I said, "Okay, we tap into our resources. We've got a guy that takes care of printing. We have a guy that takes care of marketing. We have a guy that takes care of, this, that, and the other thing." And we put it together for the first year. It was just awesome the first year we did it. We had over 3,000 people coming through our doors in that 2-day period, and it just grew from there. Everybody was so excited about what was happening that each year we just made it better and better and better. But we've got that going on. And then also we have Fezziwig's Dance Party, which happens Saturday night at about 7 to 7:30, and that's awesome. People come from all over for that. That's like a square dance. If you like old Victorian style
Someone going to be
square
playing
dancing.
Sir Roger de Coverley on the fiddle?
And there's going to be plenty of water to pass around because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
But people come from all over. And then, of
That
course,
is my favorite scene. So the Fezziwig scene.
Yes.
So the Christmas Carol connection. We got to go back to the Christmas Carol
Exactly.
connection. I grew up on Mickey's Christmas Carol.
All right.
And that's one of the earliest cartoons I remember. It's the earliest version of A Christmas Carol that I remember seeing.
Right.
In fact, I still have the first version that aired on television that I recorded on my Christmas tape, and I watch it every year.
Wow.
And now I'm a 40-year-old man, and I still watch this cartoon. It was a story that hit me very hard. It really resonated with me, and I've become a student of the Dickens classic. I've been become a student of A Christmas Carol, but specifically Mickey's Christmas Carol. There's the one scene he's looking through the window at his younger self dancing at his old boss Fezziwig's party, and they're playing. It's a version of Sir Roger de Coverley, and it's referenced in the original book. It says, and the fiddler played Sir Roger de Coverley, but I cannot find a version of that song that matches what the Disney version is.
Wow.
It's such an exciting. I tried to record that off the TV and I play it in the car because I'm a little crazy. I don't know if you get that.
You should call Disney direct.
I used to work for Disney, but it
doesn't work.
It doesn't really work like that. They've got to pass you around to a lot of different people.
Yeah.
But because obviously that version was made for that Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Every time that particular scene comes up in any performance of A Christmas Carol, it's not my favorite scene, but it's one of my favorite scenes of the entire story. So to hear that at the Masonic Lodge, you guys are doing a Fezziwig's party, that's pretty exciting.
Yep, that's one night, and you can still buy tickets. You can buy tickets throughout the day Saturday, and you can buy tickets online if I'm not mistaken. You can check that out. But we also have a magician. Now, if you've gone the past few years, we ended up with a new magician last year because the fellow that had been doing it for years passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We were sad. We were sad of course, to see him go, and he did a great job. But so the fellow that's doing it now is Steve Rodman. So it's the magic show of Steve Rodman. If you come in with your kids, your relatives, your friends, just by yourself, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And, we've got a very big room, chair set up. We've got a nice stage. In fact, we set it up really nice for you this year.
Yeah, I did see the photograph. So that takes place, that's at noon on...
Well, there are several shows on that day. So we have 3 of his shows on Saturday and 3 of his shows on Sunday.
Gotcha.
So it's just a beautiful thing. The gingerbread houses are downstairs, and of course there were tickets for that. I think it's $1 or so a person to come down and view those. It's a nice Christmas atmosphere down there. We sell cookies. We have cider. We have
now because you're working so hard during this weekend. Do you get an opportunity to leave the lodge and go check out the rest of all the Dickensian fare that's taking place?
In all these years, I've been there Saturday and Sunday, and I haven't left. No, I'm usually there the entire weekend.
How do you view this particular event? Do you look at this as the real kickoff to your holiday season? Or
Absolutely.
It's an essential part of your holiday season now?
Absolutely. It is. It's at the very beginning. It's just after Thanksgiving, of course, but it is a big village-wide celebration. And, of course, I'll say brother-wide because all my brothers from Suffolk Lodge number 60 are there as well. And actually from other lodges as well. They come over and they help out. It's a family-friendly event.
Do you find that the other local organizations and the other local businesses really value this type of an event because it creates such a sense of community for Port Jeff?
It does. It really does. It brings business into the local businesses, of course, but it brings solidarity within the village as well. It gets all the people to, like you said, it's a great kickoff to the holiday season. It's a great kickoff to just that feeling, that aura of giving, which, I wish it lasted all year long, but unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't.
We take advantage of it when it does come along. Did you get a chance to see the movie The Man Who Invented Christmas?
No.
It came out 2 years ago. No. It tells a really interesting backstory of a version of how A Christmas Carol was created. And ultimately, the point of the story was just how impactful Charles Dickens' story, changing the way we celebrate Christmas and bringing in the notion of giving to those less fortunate.
Right.
And I think it's such a great culmination of all of that taking place within the village, having the lodge getting involved and having other local organizations and other local businesses getting involved. It's such a great community event. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to participate this year. So that's Saturday and Sunday, December 7th and December 8th in the village of Port Jefferson. You could stop by the Masonic Lodge. What's the address of the lodge?
The lodge is 312 Main Street in Port Jefferson.
312 Main Street. So you're going to have Long Island's holiday music station, Walk 97.5, is going to be out there for most of the day. And then at the Masonic Lodge, I'm performing Santa's Lonely Helper, 10:30 in the morning, Saturday and Sunday. You got the magic shows and, of course, that great gingerbread house competition. Have you ever had a favorite gingerbread house of all the years you've been watching? See anything spectacular that you just have to talk about?
Absolutely. We had one of the lodge, of course. That was that was a favorite. But we also had Town Hall. Somebody did Village Hall from Port Jeff, and they did an awesome job. But I also want to say that, we do take $1 or $2 for people who come and view this, and I'd like the people to know that a portion of those proceeds go to a charity, and this year's charity is the Open Door Exchange. And basically what the Open Door Exchange does is they furnish homes for people who can't necessarily afford to furnish their homes. It's something that is, I guess they consider it an outreach program of and it's of the Setauket Presbyterian Church. And I think it's an interesting thing. We're always trying to help local people in need.
I think giving back to those less fortunate, that is in the spirit of Christmas. It's in the spirit of the Dickensian Christmas, and it's a great fit and a great part of everything that goes on at the Dickens Festival. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I can't wait for it. I know it's a really big opportunity, and I don't take the partnership lightly. I'm very excited about it. Thank you so much for allowing us to participate.
You're very welcome, Big Mike. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to your listeners.
You got it. Thank you very much.